mind that. Because I don't want any more kids. Like, I don't want to spit out any more kids, but I love babies, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
The baby comes over, it's your time to look after them. I don't mind helping with that. But I just, if it's somebody that I really care about, I don't want to see you holding anybody's hand, hugging, kissing, knowing that you're about to go plow somebody. Like, I don't want to know.
Is that the word? I love that. Okay, plow. Okay. Yeah, but the idea, I mean, the PDA is one thing, the public displays of affection, let's say in general public, but to just do it so openly, like what they're about to go do. It's like, okay, and it's her day too. It's Tuesday. Like, wait a minute. So um, okay, so Kai, first of all, you're very forgiving. I'm just going to say that because in the culture in America, it's still a mindset of he's all mine and you can't have him. But the funny thing is, if a lot of women realize that so many of these men are going to cheat anyway, so if you actually knew who the lady was and it's not cheating because you know all about her and you decided together who she'll be in some cases, so there's no threat there per se, but it's when it's in the dark, it just seems so disrespectful.
And we've taken her for an STD check, so I know you ain't
Yes,
bringing nothing home to me.
nothing home,
So
no presents back to the family or to you. Yeah, to that. I absolutely all of that has been done. So for me, it's funny, Kai, because my I want to say my opinion has changed just slightly since the last time we talked about this. So just for all of our listeners, so Kai and I had a brief conversation about polygamy. Because I'm currently dating someone who is, I don't know if this is fair to say because a person is not from America. I don't think that's fair to say that it's more common, but is it? I mean, you know, it kind of is in certain cultures, but it's something that we talked about, but more so because I cannot have any other children, nor do I want to try to have other children. I just don't have any interest in that because I'm obviously in the middle of my life and he's never had children at all. So it's like, okay, I wouldn't want to be a selfish person, 10 years down the line, even, or maybe five. And he's regretting or resenting that never had children, but yet everything else about a relationship is loving and respectful. We're on the same track with our goals, and the good foundation is there. But now I'm starting to have stronger feelings for him because see that conversation was easy to have before you're really official anything or before you're actually even together. You're just, talking, getting to know someone. And when you're just really just friends, but to cross over that to that next level, and I think it's just the culture here being born as an American, it's jealousy and not insecurity, excuse me, jealousy or protectiveness of your mate or being protective of your mate is natural. So I think a little bit of that is seeping into my thoughts. But on the other hand, I would still be willing to compromise with that. Like Kai said, there's just certain things that have to be in place. We're not in the same house. We're not sharing our bed or a bedroom. You have your days. She has her days. But I'm definitely getting all the major holidays. And I don't mind watching the children, raising the children, because I absolutely love kids. I love, love, love babies. I actually have a brand new, oh, Kai, I think you knew that I have a brand new granddaughter. I believe she turns 1 month today. Yay.
oh
Isabel.
wow, it's been a month.
Yes, I can't believe it, Kai. Little Isabel, baby Isabel was born on the 14th of September. Or what's today? The 14th, right? Yeah, so she was born exactly 30 days ago into this world. So yeah, I love babies. Now, speaking of children, this murder is going to I really think it's going to tug at the heartstrings of some of our listeners because we have to tell you, when we get these cases, it's not always, well, it's never pretty, but it's not always where it could be politically correct, where it's like, okay, a husband kills his wife. That's been done before. A husband, murders okay, well, actually, not even a husband. Maybe it's a husband and then he goes and murders half the neighborhood, but he killed his wife first. That still qualifies in our spectrum of things because it's about love first and then murder. But what about when it's love and not just love of one person, but love of two wives, legal wives? Well, you can't have two legal wives. I'm sorry, unless no, not at all, right? Not, I don't think that's in our country, but
I think
in
Utah.
Utah, in
Can't you do
certain
it in
parts,
like Utah?
yeah, but I thought it still wasn't considered legal. I thought it was just accepted because half the state understands it because it's cultural and it's religious. So
I don't know if it's
yeah,
legal, but I do know you can do it there.
yeah, without being prosecuted or
Jailed.
jailed.
Yeah.
There's the word, right? Without being jailed or convicted. So now this took place in Oklahoma, by the way. So we're going to call this case Three's a Crowd. Okay, so love and murder, three's a crowd, the polygamous murders. That's pretty much what we're going to name them here. It's what happened. In fact, Jesse James Cummings Jr. is his name. He's in a polygamous marriage with two wives, as I briefly mentioned. And there are children involved. And not only are there children involved in the marriage, but unfortunately, there's a child that was involved in one of the murders. So that's where I'm coming full circle about how Ky and I were saying how we love children. And we can't always select these things where it's like, oh my gosh, we can't do the story because they're talking about, there was a dog that was murdered, or there's a child, or a child's not comparable, but I'm saying other loving things besides your mate, other loving things. I'm sorry, other loving, people that are attached to you in your lives also that are part of your family. That's a better way of putting it. So here's the thing. This murder happened on September the 9th, 1991. And he wasn't sentenced for quite a while after that. It was what, May the 30th, 1996. So there was some time in between all of this, from the time that the murder happened until the date of his actual sentence. But it just gets really, really messy. The authorities are trying to figure out. First of all, let me tell you who the victims are. The victims would be, there's two. Okay, so the first victim would be his sister. Her name is Judy Moody. Her last name is Moody. So Judy Moody was only 42 years old when this happened, and she is the half sister of the convicted Jesse James Cummings. They live in a small town in Oklahoma. As a matter of fact, it's Cole County, Oklahoma. And Judy lived not too far away in Tushka County, pretty much just, I guess, maybe across the tracks. But what they were saying is that if you can just picture, it's a small town where everyone knows everybody. Nothing like this has ever happened before. In fact, this particular murder marks only the second at this particular time that resulted in execution in the state of Oklahoma. So that's never happened before, except only once before. But
Wow.
yeah, only this. I mean, to make history is that how you want to make history? I mean, you can fight for world peace. You can open a foundation, or you can jump off the tallest building in Paris. But like, really, is this okay? No, it's not the way that you want to go down in your life and say,
Right?
second one that they ever convicted. Like, woohoo! No, it doesn't work like that. So that's not okay. Yeah. Anyway, so to get back to this, so they're from a small town. Literally, is what the authorities there's without a lack of a better expression. I don't want to use the expression trailer trash because I think that's just so wrong. But they were from the wrong side of the trailer tracks, if I can say that. And so they grew up. All of them.
Isn't it still considered like kind of wrong? I
Yeah.
mean, that's just not saying trailer trash, but saying the wrong side of the tracks, that's still.
Actually, this one of the sisters, or excuse me, one of the wives expressed it that way, and so that's what they actually did say in the report. They said trailer trash. I myself wanted to put a soft little, blanket on it when I said the side of the trailer tracks, but she literally said that's what she said. How she described herself. This is one of the wives. In fact, let's get into the wives that he does have. So, wife number one, her name is Juanita. Wife number two, her name is Sherry. I don't know how they met. One thing about this story is that what we're going to do, Ky, is do something a little bit different in breaking down this case today, because generally what happens is we're able to at least get some juice on, how the person grew up. What were they like? Maybe that tells us more of their motivation. What was your childhood like? Did you come from a poor family or a rich family? Or was there structure in your family? Was there a foundation? Just anything. But the only thing they focused on was the fact that he was a bigamist, and the fact that he murdered a child, and the fact that it was a small town, and they didn't really say anything else about that. So they did get deep into the fact of the two wives. When you have a marriage of more than one wife. And Kai, let me ask you this. So let's say it's a polygamous marriage for you, and I'll say myself as well. Um, do you find yourself, do you think there would be okay, let's say you get upset with your husband, very upset with your husband. Would you find that you would share with the other wife your disdain about your husband at that time, or how frustrated you are? Oh, Jim didn't do this, or he didn't do that. And
You're acting like I'm going to be talking to this woman in the first place. I don't even want
no,
her phone number.
really?
No.
Okay. So we don't really. So with that said, I'm assuming that Kai and I really don't have any idea how this really happens. Okay, so I'm assuming that because see what it came down to is this: the two wives, Juanita, and well, anyway, Sherry, they got together on this, according to Jesse James, because this was his way to try to get off from what he's done. He insists that, oh, my two wives, I'm pretty sure they just conjured this plot together, and I didn't have anything to do with it. So the plot was that this is what he actually, when it comes down to the end, when you get to everything in life, the truth comes out. And so what it really was is that he told them, he said, I'm going to drive down to Oklahoma City. I don't know how long that drive was from where they lived. He said, when I return, I want Judy to be dead. She needs to be dead. You need to kill her before I return. By the time I return, my sister, Judy Moody, she needs to be dead. Do you understand that? Can you believe that?
I mean, let me ask you this. If
Mm-hmm.
your dude came to you and was like, "Hey, I'm about to go out of town real quick. By the time I come back, I want my sister dead." Got it? What is your answer going to
I
be?
I mean, if you're, oh, you know what? This is the reason why, Kai. The reason you're asking that question is you're thinking in terms of, first of all, a normal life in your head. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, Kai.
This is the reason why what?
Yeah. So this is the reason why I think that
Okay,
you're. Yeah.
wait. The way I'm going to have to edit it, okay?
Hmm.
Because I said this is the reason why what, and at the same time you said Kai. So let's
Okay.
be quiet for 10 seconds so I know exactly
Hmm.
where to edit this.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I didn't touch anything. I don't know why it dropped.
Okay. Okay, let's stop talking for like 10 seconds because it makes it easier for me to edit it. All right, Shar, I lost you for a second. You were saying this is the reason why what?
Yeah, so so the reason why Kai is asking from a normal standpoint of with common sense, you're going to tell me that you're going to the store or you're going into town, whatever you're going to do, and when you return, my co-wife and I are supposed to have murdered your sister. Is that how it goes? And so Kai is saying, well, like what are you going to say? I mean, why would anybody say anything like anything close to, "Oh, okay, honey, pick me up a loaf of bread while you're out and some Cheetos." Like you're not going to say that. But
Yeah, I want some chocolate. And how do you want her murdered? You want me to strangle her, or got a belt that I could borrow? Like I don't understand. Oh, by the way, yeah. Don't forget the hot Cheetos or regular Cheetos, whatever. I'm watching my cholesterol.
exactly, and a really large Coke Pepsi because you can't eat chips without
I
chips.
mean, yeah, murder needs something cold after it. I mean,
Murder definitely needs a Pepsi. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, Pepsi. That was not. They're not a sponsor, and we're not giving them a plug-in, and it's not to put them down. I'm just saying it's got to be something cold. Okay, so but what I'm going to do is I want to set up the home environment so that our listeners can understand where their minds were of the wives, these poor women. They were just so confused. So at the time of the murders, Cummings, which of course that's the convicted Jesse Cummings, he lived in Cole County, which I mentioned to you guys. Household, but it's overlapping sexual relationships, meaning that they were having open sexual relationships together in this particular polygamous relationship. Not all polygamy is based that way, just so as a disclaimer. And so the polygamists lived with their ailing father, well, his father. So his father lived there and watched this all play out and unfold. Maybe in his father's mind, it was normal because